Hi, everybody. So I hope you're doing well. Today is the day that we're filming that Mr. Trump got indicted. So what does that mean? And we just kind of learned this about 35 minutes ago. He's getting indicted for something that's connected to someone named Stormy. So I think we're going into the storm, and we've been in it, and we're going through that period of time where the whole solar event has been like stretched out for this whole week, and we're at the peak of it right now, and then it's going to start to go down tomorrow. Like, we have 65-mile-an-hour winds here right now. So basically that energy is being used to push all the political stuff forward. So everything that's happening is being pushed forward. And this indictment is part of that. So it is part of the movie. Make sure you take care of yourself. You don't get yourself too stressed out over this movie. That's about it. We're going to talk about the map today and kind of open your mind. This is another exercise of what is true and what is not true, because there's so many maps and a lot of them don't look like the ones that we've been seeing recently, that's for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen because I want to take us through some of these maps. Now, this is the one, this hangs in the UN right here. And what does it show? It shows that the center or the entrance to inner Earth is outside of where we've been. So we're in this area that's a little darker, and it's surrounded by a wall of ice. And basically, I feel like this map was before they even put the ice wall up. So the ice wall was created by the elites. It wasn't created by the ETs that put the dome up. But this inner Earth, this doorway to inner Earth, is outside of where the dome was. And there's a lot more going on outside of the dome as well. But I thought that was pretty cool. And this one hangs in the UN. And this one hangs in the UN. So this one right here, this is the ice wall. If you can see that little hand that's moving around. And then this is the sun and the way the sun moves. And this is the moon and the way the moon moves around that ice wall. Notice that everything is a little more normal outside of the ice wall. And I would say that this is the dome. So on the edge of it is the dome. And look how thick that is. That's why they could never penetrate the glass ceiling. They could never get out of the dome. So that's really interesting to me. And Rex and I had a conversation the other day, and we talked about California. So this is a totally different part of the conversation. But why don't you talk about this a little bit, Rex? Because this was pretty mind-blowing when we put this together.
And then what year was this one about?
I think this is the 1600s. I'm not going to promise, but it was definitely before 1800. So this is before the mud flood.
You're right. I started asking questions about the salt flats, because when you fly out west from Houston, you're going to go over that, and they'll always say, look to the left and you see the salt flats, and it's a big area. That, along with the Death Valley, which is below sea level and the hottest place in northern hemisphere, if not the world. I can't remember exactly what that is. I know it's listed as the hottest of something. It doesn't matter. The point of that is there's been ships found lodged in the hillsides of these, in the sand dunes and what have you, in various ages of these. So I was asking Honey about this. I said, this just seems to me that it fits in there with the California as an island, because there's even in the 1800s they're talking about a ship that, like, with sails and 1860 type ship that's coming into their bay. The Indians leave, stuff like that. What do you call it? Educational pieces left in their traditional vocal histories and such. But about the men that came through the bay and all this. Okay, well, then I started thinking about the Pueblo Indians and you have to step aside from our traditional Indian history that we're told about, but Pueblos, and they're up 300 feet living in little cave dwellings. Who in your right mind climbs up there when you're barely, if you've watched that show that I always like to watch, Naked and Afraid, but if you've ever watched that, they're scrambling around for centipedes to eat. And the food's not real plentiful, so why would you waste energy of your body to climb up 300 feet into a little cave thing? So let's play logic. Logic was that water level was probably around there, and that was coastal. And either the caves made the water made that, or maybe the wind did. But it doesn't matter that they lived in these things, and it would be coastal for them, not something that was, maybe just down 50 feet from the water. Not, I don't know. So it plays into the whole map thing. I started looking at it and I started thinking that this was all underwater recently. I'm not talking about Paleolithic and all that mess. We're talking 1800, that it was before the mud flood, that it was actually a sea out there, and California was cut that soon. So these are just some ideas I threw around with Honey, and well, we came up with a lot with that.
And I got that they basically, as they did the mud flood, because that was created with frequency, they decided to join the land to California. So that was a decision that the Greys made. The tall Greys.
And here, just a thought right there. Is this why the Andreas fault is such a fragile area? Because that was pushed and put together, maybe not naturally. So it's always.
I think they just drained it.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at the map, it feels like to me that they just made sure that the ocean wasn't going to get in there anymore. So that would actually just be here at the bottom. And then
what was the motive for that? Like, what was the decision based on to do that? Was there a particular reason why it was beneficial for them to join the lands? Or
well, I
know they wanted
that
more control over the area. I'm getting.
There was a gold and silver issue. The whole reasoning behind the search, from what history says, for the reason why they were in there in the first place. But they would come in twice a year in the Indian records, that they would talk about. They would come in, the man from the sea, or whatever they called them, but would come in from about twice a year from their opening to the bay, which is down there by Baja, California, or whatever, up into. And if you look at that map right there, it looks like little fissures of seawater that go in there. And even in those times, they didn't draw maps just for the sake of making it look good. There was a reason why they were there. So those little lines that cut in, is that Grand Canyon? That's about the place for some of that.
Here, yeah,
right in there. Mm-hmm. And Pueblo Indians, I don't know. I'm just stuck on that Pueblo Indian thing, and I'm sure there's people that will go back to the history of the native thing and say, oh, they lived there because of, well, I don't know why you would climb up there to do that. It's always been kind of a mystery. But then that's what history has told us. But logically, would you waste living in that, in that environment? Do you waste that much energy to climb up there for nothing?
Right. Well, and think about what they wanted. They wanted gold. Like, gold was what they were after all the time. Yeah. So to join that, or to drain that so it would be easier to get across it, why not? Yeah. I don't feel like it was very deep.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Their records. See, I was delving into that a few years ago, and there's several ships. They even say there's one that's a Viking ship, and that's just another whole story in itself. But the front two are from the 1800s and the 1700s, and then you go on down further, and they'll talk about two other ships that they found wedged on the side of a hill, and the sand finally blew it away, and records show that it's old like that. But recently, we're not talking. That's what gets me, is this doesn't take the Paleolithic era of dinosaurs to, you know, that fictitious mess right in there to discover this. It's recent times. So
Right.
I think that map is very accurate right there.
I do too. I really like that map, and there's a lot of them. So there's another one.
And
And they
again,
all have these little 4 islands there.
and this is food for thought for you to out there to look into yourself. To it's an idea to get away from the history book and just look at the logic of it. And this, what was the purpose of making this map if it wasn't real? You know,
Yeah.
Everything since then has been a reason to make it, is to cover up things. But this was before that. So why would that map have any reason to show you that it's different? And it just, there's a lot of logical things that can go to that California and why it has its issues with geographical problems and whatever else.
You know,
So-
actually, it looks like California was also Oregon and maybe part of Washington. It's so huge.
All the way up there. Yeah.
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 Yep. Interesting.
So
That one also says Canada Nouvelle, which Canada Nouvelle, New Canada. So was Canada further down and France up? Well, Sea of Canada. I mean, I'm seeing all sorts of like.
Oh, that's a French map.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right, Rex, you-
interesting.
Is Mexico the whole part? Like it says Mexico up the top there.
Yeah, so Mexico was kicked out. You know,
Mm.
they took over.
it says New Mexico, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pushed it down. Yeah.
So they
So it's
pushed
so it's actually the
Mexico
state of New
down.
Mexico. Is that what they mean?
Yeah.
Well, and of the 2 states, the only states that were countries on their own were Texas and California. So why that isolation of that makes more sense to me on that. And
Yeah.
people try to get, and their flag has a bear on it with the red stripe at the bottom. They all try to make it communism. I don't think it's about that. I think it's more into that bear and that Republic of California than people want to think.
Right.
So are the other islands much? I mean, like if you look at Cuba and stuff, and all the islands in that around that area, because the water was much higher back then. Are all those islands bigger now? Because you would imagine that, because California itself, state, would be much bigger now because there's less water, right?
Right. Yeah, because all of this here in between this whole
It's land now.
yeah, that's land now. It's not it's not very inhabitable, but it is still land.
Also, at some point, the water was far lower also than it is now.
Yeah.
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 So that means there would have been far more land everywhere, really.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of structures and things on the ocean
Well,
floor.
there's a lot of things
Statues.
underwater, isn't there?
Statues and things.
A lot of
Mhm.
islands and other things that aren't really, well, we say not really there. We don't know unless we've gone to them. If a plane won't fly you there commercially, the public doesn't really know if the island is there or not. I look at that Gulf of Mexico, and I've flown to Cancun and stuff from Houston across there, whatever. There's no islands marked. There are not any there that are supposedly mapped. However, you know, Galveston Island right there has another little island hooked to it now that came up when we had a bad storm in 2008. Ike came through. Terrible. Rearranged the coastline. Okay. And so we got some extra little islands, but we're talking bird islands, not something like this down here that could just go away. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot. And then is that okay? The Caribbean doesn't cut into the Mexico Yucatan down there like that either. Now that's way in, and there's where the Mayan. Okay, here we go. There's where the Mayan Indian. I mean, yeah, all their pyramids in the jungles that they just found, you know, within the last 100 years, show up there. So that would have been a coastal thing for them, and not just in the middle of the landmass with where they wondered what they ate. How come they ate so many fish? Well, they were really on the water there. They didn't walk all the way to the coast from 200 miles to go get fish or out of that river. So yeah, this makes more sense.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And look at the Mississippi River, the mouth of that between Louisiana and Texas. There, that if that river's even there, I don't know, but the bay is New Orleans, where it would go, where you go in right there, where it says La Florida.
Oh yeah.
That's huge in there. That's not like that. So,
No, but they're below sea level too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
they got to basically float that city to keep it up. To keep it up.
Mhm.
Given to the nature, it would be underwater all the way up there, way up there. So,
Yeah. It's just absolutely crazy. So I wanted to talk about Australia a little bit too. I don't get that it's in the same place that they say. And
Like all the maps are wrong.
yeah, well, I get that it's closer. So
To the rest of the world, you mean? Like in terms of like closer to
yeah,
all the other
because
countries.
you guys are like what, 17 hours ahead of everybody else, right?
Give or take.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Well,
supposedly.
but that's
But
man.
you know, the way I look at it with the time zone things, I said to you guys before, like you guys, like I used to work, well, I still do, but with a company in Canada, and when I lived on in the East Coast, there was only about 5 hours difference if you looked at it from like if you don't discount the days. So I'd wake up at 9, and they'd only be 5 hours ahead, kind of like in terms of
Right.
they'd be behind, you know. But so I just like, well, it's not really 14-hour or 19-hour difference, is it really? It's just like 5 hours.
Right.
Yeah. I
Like you
actually
still-
think you're in the same day.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well-
Why would you not be? It's if you think it's going around like this, then it's just like, well, it gets there 5 hours earlier. You know, it's not a different day at all. I mean,
Yeah.
days are just
Okay.
everything's a man-made construct. Time, days are everything, they're all man-made. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's closer to Hawaii.
I
Yeah,
get
and
that
the
it's
other-
a little bit beyond Hawaii. So like if you were to look at the coast of, California and think about where Hawaii is, then Australia would be a little further beyond Hawaii. So that whole extra day, I think, is a total farce.
Yeah.
is there a map that you have that shows where you think it
No.
is?
I don't have that. One thing for me is I don't like geography.
Me either.
I
I'm
love
not
it.
good at it, but when I asked, because it didn't make any sense, I'm like, where is it? Now, if I had to rearrange the whole map and figure out where everything was, I think my higher self would just basically say, no, we're not doing it. But if there's one thing, like, where is it? And the problem is that we don't even know where the original thing is, really. Like, where is the United States, really?
So it'll be interesting when there's no more NDAs and stuff when it comes to the pilots and the flight plans and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff to be revealed somehow, or I don't know how that'll get
Right.
told.
Well, and Antarctica is like surrounds the whole, like, where's Antarctica really? Where is all of it really
Right.
in relation to each other? Because it's all skewed. We saw one map where everything was turned sideways. I don't have access to it right now, but east was west and west was east, right?
Yeah, I think everything's inverted.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
like north and south, the Gene code says that Australia is actually at the top. But I don't know if that makes much sense then. If Antarctica is actually at the bottom and it surrounds the the whole Earth, then we know Australia is quite close to Antarctica, unless that's a different landmass that we're thinking of. Or
No, I think it is because you guys have penguins, right?
yeah,
Yeah. They come in at Phillip Island here in Victoria. They're quite prevalent in the
Yeah.
southern, that's near on the southern part of Australia. So there's definitely, that's been going on since I was a kid. It's been forever, really.
Yeah.
They still come and go, and every night they'll pop in and say good day. They
I
have,
think
they
they're
have people, they have
awesome.
big shows and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that map behind me, you mentioned directions before. You know, that literally tells you in Italian, Levante and Ponente, east and west, but it's written in the different on the opposite sides.
Right.
So it really shows you in plain sight that it's the east and west are backwards, certainly on this map. So it's again, once you look at these maps and you start translating the language, because they're all written in different languages, Spanish and Italian and everything, Latin, but take the time to just choose some words and translate them. It's amazing what you'll find. I mean, I posted that probably 6 months ago on Telegram. I found it just looking at the map, and I was like, that surely can't be wrong, and
Right.
and then you tuned in literally the other week and said that the directions are all over the place, and it just reminded me of that. It was like, yeah, well, that was something I saw literally printed on a map, but this was a 1587 map.
So what does it say? It says the east is west, or what?
Yeah, hang on, I'll show you. I don't know if I can share screen, but
While you're looking, I want to make a point.
Yeah, you can share screen.
Scott and I did a live experiment because I was taught in school that, the water turns either clockwise or whatever it was, okay, that it turns that direction when it drains here. And then when in the southern hemisphere, it goes backwards. And so you just took that for a science thing and moved on. Well, now that I had to do a live experiment, I just contacted Scott, said, Scott, go to the drain and fill up that sink and just let it go and see which way it turns and let me know. I'm going to do the same thing. And it both turned the same direction. And then the one on the other sink turned the other way if it wanted to. It has to do with either pipes or
so
whatever.
it's got nothing to do with.
There's nothing to do with it being southern hemisphere and all of that. That
Just depends on the sink.
Magnetics,
Or-
isn't it?
goes down the drain. Period.
What direction did it go? Is it anti-clockwise? Is it clockwise? Or?
Well, mine went counterclockwise, and his went counterclockwise also, and then the other one went clockwise. Wasn't it, Scott?
it changed, yeah.
And
it was.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, maybe things are so messed up at the moment that it's doing.
Yeah.
The toilet doesn't matter because there's force put into that, which spins it in a certain direction, I think. So that's not.
That's right.
That.
It was all forced because I changed the angle of the tap and I was spilling it into the sink. I thought, oh yeah, it does go that way. And then I changed the angle of the tap and it went the other bloody way. It's like, well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's got nothing to do with the rotation.
It doesn't.
It's just
It doesn't rotate, does it? That's why.
Yeah,
I just turned the water off
exactly.
and then filled it up and let it sink, and it didn't start to turn until it got to that I could see until I got close to the drain, and it was counterclockwise. But then it can go the other way too. So, like I said.
It doesn't, yeah.
Forget that placement thing about it's got to be on the other half of the. No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
So tell us about this map.
Yeah. So this is just a screenshot I took of it. You can see, this is basically up is technically north and down is south. So this is basically the same map as behind me in my screenshot. And this is just zoomed in on the text that I was talking about, the Levante and Ponente written here. So, the Levante is basically east, but here it's showing you it's on the west side of that central north and south line. So it's, it's backwards basically what we'd been taught anyway. So, Ponente is west, so it should be on the other side technically based on what we're shown and we've been taught. So that it's like if it has been skewed, this is good evidence and it supports that theory that east is actually west. Yeah.
Or the left. East is the left side and west is the right side.
So Levante is east. It translates to east in Italian. Everyone can check that if they want to verify it. And Ponente is west, but they're obviously reversed here on the map. And it's just, like I said, it was something I came across and I was just like, it just blew my head off.
And it doesn't state that they were dyslexic.
I don't know what
they didn't have that back then. I don't think.
It's just a minor error. It's just a minor error. Let's just roll this back out throughout the whole world. And
minor error that's printed about 10 times and elsewhere throughout the whole map. This is just one portion. So it's done everywhere. It's around the whole map, around the whole section of the map. It's written
north
this
and south as well.
But north and south, I can't find any reference particularly to north and south, which is interesting. So
It would make sense that probably do the same thing.
It would, and maybe I haven't looked hard enough. Maybe it's in there somewhere. So it might be worth me delving more into it and having a quick look because, I mean, I didn't I didn't think about. I thought maybe it was just the east and the west at the time that was screwed up, not the north and the south. But yeah, it sounds like the north and the south is also incorrect as well to some degree. But it just shows you how much they've really screwed with everything. As far as time and direction and really getting us all out of balance. But I thought that was a really good find as far as evidence everyone can confirm for themselves and look up. So it's amazing, really. Just
That's
do a bit
great.
of translate. App is cool to translate. Lots of cool stuff. You can just translate the words, and it's really good, really good stuff. But this map itself. It's about 9 foot by 9 foot, and it comes in sections. It was all created in sections and put together. I think it's in a museum at the moment, but it's actually a very, very large scale map when it's all presented in its true form. So,
Wow.
it's a 1587 map of the world. Just get on there and have a look, and like I said, do a bit of exploring. Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Hey.
Yeah.
So just one more piece to the puzzle that adds to, like, you talk about how it affects time, seasons, our calendars, everything. And here we, have things in different places than they really are. And oh my gosh, like a
Yeah.
jigsaw.
I want to show this. I found
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
an old
I'll have to stop
image.
the share.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out. Hang on. Sorry. There we go.
It's okay.
And
Technology.
it's a mockery basically of the whole mapping process, really. And
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
deciphered some of the Latin, and it's not totally understandable, but it does allude to mocking us
Yeah.
for
It
our
just
lack
looks
of
like a court jester to me. And
Right,
also it
right.
has horns.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those ringing bell things and that scepter they carry, that stuff,
Yeah.
which is what, the globe, or like the trying to
It looks like a globe, yeah.
A miniature globe.
reinforce that theory again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
I think there were some Latin translations on that too. Again, wasn't there, Steph? That
yeah,
was
yeah, but
basically insinuating
um,
we're all fools and
yes.
so forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
So I don't know. Do you guys have any questions about where is this or where is that? Or should we talk about? Oh, go ahead.
Why
I
does
would
it
like to
take so
know,
long?
is there, go ahead.
Sorry, why does it take so long for Australia? Because we actually, I do believe that we are very far away from most places. I mean, apart from Asia and stuff. But if you want to fly to America or Europe or something, it takes ages, right? So we must be fairly far. And if you look at the first map that you showed, Honey, it showed that Australia was actually quite close to all the other continents.
Mhm.
But then if you look at some other maps, it looks really far away. Like some other maps, it's like all the way over the other side, all the other ones are over here.
It is far in comparison, but I feel like they are fooling us with some of the travel. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think it's as far because honestly, it took us
It can't be.
about 24 hours to get there. And that counts some smaller flights too. But I think the bulk of it was seriously like at least 14 hours straight. And I don't
I
feel
think
like
we can work
that's
it out.
right.
Because if you work out, if the sun goes around the Earth in 24 hours, or whatever 24 hours is, but if it goes around in 24 hours, and say Canada's 5 hours ahead of Melbourne, how fast does the sun travel? Then we can work out like how far roughly it is.
Yeah. I guess, but the sun is fake.
Yeah, but it still travels at a speed.
It does still
travels
travel at a
some
speed. We'd have to work out what the speed is.
But when you fly
Yeah.
from Europe to Houston, like, and I've done that with the way that there's been a flight time that you catch that you leave in the afternoon and it's never dark. You go with the sun the entire time, and I land like at noon after being only in the air for 4 or 5 hours supposedly, but yet it's been 9. But with all the time changes and such, but that we never have darkness at all. We went with the sun going that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say that the Earth rotates at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. That's the official. That's the official
Yep.
number. So
That's the
yeah.
official, yeah.
yeah,
But when you get all the official stuff, it adds up to 666.
Yeah. Actually, I need to go back for a
and
second.
the tilt of the Earth is also 666.
Yeah.
It's 23.4 degrees. Minus that from 90, you get 66.6.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
Every single
Really?
thing is like a
666.
lie.
Yeah. So we don't know really like what the real
Yeah. It's
we should
almost
figure it out,
impossible really to figure it out until we actually get to see it.
Because if you look at the sun, you know, when you wake up in the morning, and then to midday, like it takes 6 hours or whatever it is. Let's say if the sun rises at 6 a.m. or
Mhm.
whatever, it takes 6 hours to get into the middle for midday, right?
Yeah.
But because we don't know how far the sun is away, we can't. It's difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell how fast it's going because you know the further something is away, the slower it looks like it's going, even if it's traveling quite fast.
Yeah, and it's really not that far away because planes have actually seen the sun within the clouds.
Yeah, I've seen videos
So-
like that.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Oh, what I was going to say about that Europe flight is that we beat the sun. Point being,
Oh, there you go.
you know, you're actually there before you left, in that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming that planes are flying as fast or as they tell us as well, I guess. I mean, you know, when you get into a plane, it's funny how they have the little screenshot of the plane, you know, doing its route, you know, and it's like it's just showing you, this is where you are, this is how far you've got to go, and it's like it's just there. You just okay, you just sort of, you know,
Exactly.
800 miles.
surrender to that.
And our parents
800 kilometers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally
400
it's around
miles an hour.
800 kilometers, an hour.
Mhm.
So I mean, but you know, the deception is so deep that they're going to think of everything to deceive you. So it's,
right.
you know,
Mhm.
they're not going to screw up something like that. If they want us to think that we're all separated and far away, they will deceive us in that sense, and you'll get a sense. You know, plane flights is a perfect one, really, isn't it,
Yeah.
to do that?
Well, and
'Cause
think
it's-
about, I mean, here's another monkey wrench. What about Pangea?
That's the one we were talking
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
So
don't know what that is.
Pangea was all the continents in one thing. So how long ago did Pangea actually exist? That's another one.
Good question.
Yeah. So there's
Back-
just so much. And did it ever exist? Maybe it didn't.
Is that what's in your map, Scott? Look, it looks like everything's connected there.
Everything but Australia. It's sort of funny because this is 1587, so Australia technically wasn't discovered, but there's a big space around here that I'm hiding. I can't really sort of up around there, but so Australia is really the only continent that's not on this map, which is interesting. So I remember when I saw this map, I was trying to work out, okay, so where would it be? It's like you've got Japan and places like that, so you can see where it would pop up, where
Yeah.
it should be, but it's not technically there yet.
I feel like they were hiding it.
To ask, it's like it might be a silly question, but you know, growing up as a kid, you know, I always wondered how these, you know, cartographers or explorers mapped the world from a boat, and
Yeah.
I'm like, is that seriously how? I mean, it's got to be BS, to be honest. I mean, you're not on a boat mapping the coastline of the world, you know,
They
and
mapped
presenting
it
it
from a blimp.
from a blimp.
Yeah. One of those Zephyr
Had to
things
be,
or whatever.
had to be
Yeah.
up high. Had to be
Mhm.
up high.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They had a lot of flying machines.
I wonder if they took into account the headwinds on that, because as I go back to my airplane flight times, it's 9 hours to Europe from here, but it's 11 to come back. Oh, because you got to go against the headwind. That's great. Is it really that windy up there? Really? Do you know that for fact? Because, you know, what's the extra 2 hours? You trudging in that 500-mile-an-hour jet that you just can't break through that tough wind, and it's going to take you 2 hours longer to get through the same trip? Yeah, talk to me from there. Because
That's because the Earth is turning. You know, you can't
That's
catch
right.
up to this.
yeah,
East and
it's-
west travel.
Like-
Makes
you
no
gotta
sense
love
at
it.
all. If the Earth is traveling
Going
at 1,000
up
miles
and
an
down
hour,
escalator, right?
there's a
you may as
whole
well just have a helicopter and hover there. If the Earth
Yeah,
is traveling
just
that
wait for
fast,
the
just
Earth.
hover and then wait for it to come down
I know, I never
to get to your
understood that.
destination.
Well, there's a physics to that or something, because I always wondered how come the fly in the car could never hit the back window, because it's going with you. So you're kind of in the dome. So you're in
Right.
the dome and it's going with you. So this is why the fly doesn't get bashed as soon as it goes into the air into the back of the window. Yet when it gets just enough outside the window, it's gone. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole world of cover-ups in this mess. I'm telling you.
Hmm. Centrifugal force.
You can't bank on one thing without proving one of the, like, you tell me that's not windy up there. Do you really know? You don't know. You don't really know if 100,000 feet is windy. It could be just still.
Yeah.
So why is it taking
Yeah.
you 2 hours extra to fly in the stillness and way up high where there's no weather? Okay. So
Right.
it's back to David's comment, because the world is spinning faster than you're getting there. And it's, I mean, it can get all into,
And there really isn't a whole lot of wind normally. I think wind is,
HARP generated.
yeah, it's HARP generated. I think some of it is solar generated, like there is a little
Yeah.
bit. But in general, we're going to have a very calm existence when it comes to weather in the future. And everywhere else on this planet outside of where we're living has a very calm existence. And it's much greener and there's more oxygen and,
Yep.
Blimps. Have blimps. Can we get blimps back? That'd be fun.
we
It's
may
like I've
get
said-
blimps back. I feel like they've graduated out of blimps already, but
Yeah. But it'd be nice, it'd be fun for us to experience them.
Yeah.
it would be fun. Yeah.
Blimp ride. Let's pay for a blimp ride.
Yeah.
Football games. Come on. That's how they video the city from down below when you're having the World Series or whatever.
Good year blimp.
Mhm.
Okay. So
They're
yeah,
very luxurious inside.
but I've
You guys
always
see photos of
no, I
Yeah.
never have.
Oh, they're
Have a
great.
look.
They look great inside.
Hmm.
All this
Oh,
room you can stretch out, not like on a squished little sardine can plane. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a mini ballroom inside.
Hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. I've never.
Yeah.
But I've
So
always said, don't debate me with what we learned in high school for subjects like this, because we all learned that. This is the thinking here, that just because it doesn't make sense doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's probably something else is wrong. Because
Mhm. Yeah.
the people in my past have said, "Oh, they want to argue the textbook back with me." Really? Well, that's the whole point of not arguing this. Is that we've outthought that already. Bring something to the table that's more than just what you think you taught, because we were taught that too. This is why we're here, not thinking that,
yeah.
because that gets me irritated. But
Yeah.
So
It's really important.
Yes, the narrative states that there's 7 continents: Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. Are there any others that we don't know about?
There's a whole lot of them beyond the ice wall,
Beyond the
where
ice
the
wall,
ice wall
right.
was. And there is at least one more within that we haven't been able to see.
Just more land that
Yeah,
we know
there's so
about
much more
inside.
land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, do you know roughly where that's located? Like, is it
The other one,
or any land, any extra land that we don't know about in here?
there's at least 5 or 6 continents outside the ice wall. So within where the dome was, and there is so much land beyond the dome.
Right.
Because we
But
only
in
sit
the
on a
dome, though,
quarter of
I
the
mean.
top of Earth.
Yeah, but in the dome, do you know where any extra land is within what we think is the Earth?
It'd be hard to describe it because I'm not good at geography. Like where it's at.
Just a rough location. Like, is it close to continental America, or is it close to
I
Australia?
think there's
Is it
some
close
up
to-
above Russia and Canada and stuff. Like there's more land up there that we are not aware of.
well, that map of the United Nations, the first one you put that up there with the off-centered inner Earth part. That shows a bunch of things that aren't there.
I mean, is it
Other
Are you-
one-
with the possibility of the continent being
This
hyperborean
one?
or something.
Yep,
That
that
one.
one.
Look at all of that outside of that. That looks like the shadow on the moon. Got all that.
Yeah, it does look like the shadow on the moon.
Are
And
those
that's
That's
not
like
the
a
whole top of Earth either.
Are
It's
those
not even
continents,
close.
are they inhabited? Those other ones you're pointing to?
Yeah, I mean, the Tartarians were out here and beyond. This isn't even like a whole,
Okay.
because this was a lot smaller. Do any of these look familiar, these continents? Not really.
So what's that one there? You've got the African, you've got Australia, then on the left you've got Africa, and you've got something below it,
Yeah.
or on the
This?
left of that even.
That
No,
looks
no,
like
that's Australia.
Australia.
Look at
Go
all.
left again. Keep
Oh.
going. Well, what we think is left, east.
Yeah, keep going east.
Keep going. This one?
Australia.
Keep going. Keep going. A bit
That's
higher. A bit,
Africa.
yeah, over here. Like, and a little bit now. A little bit left. A little bit higher. A little bit higher. Yeah, there.
Oh,
Like,
that.
what's that one? Like, that's nothing. That's nothing we know of. Like, it's not America. It's not
Yeah.
South America or anything.
That's definitely not anything we know of. And this map is too blurry to get.
Looks
Mm.
like England.
Yeah,
Well,
but
England would
England's
be over-
attached
England would be
to a
over
here.
bigger
Yeah,
continent.
that
up
would
at the
be
top.
I'm just saying.
England would be up the
Yeah,
top.
Because look at Australia over here hugging on Canada like a sister. I mean, that's too close.
And that's not even. And to the right of Australia, you've got a massive landmass there before South America too. I
Yeah.
think that was Lemuria or something.
and all these shapes are wrong.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably the real shapes.
Yeah.
Are they?
They're
Yeah,
Probably-
they're probably the real shapes. Because when I was doing a show with Shanti and she asked me, is this the real shape of Australia? And she had it behind her. And I said, nope. So higher self's like, nope, that's not the way it looks.
I think that all the islands are more round than they are shaped. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like they're more.
This explains.
They're just land masses that don't have any defined shape. Like
I know.
This
Crazy.
explains why if you're going to fly from here to England, I'm going to go through Iceland and over the ends of Greenland instead of straight across. Because if you draw a line like that, it takes me straight there, but I'm going to pass over Iceland and Greenland, and I'm coming from Texas. What's the looks like there would be a closer route, but that is the closest route. But when you put it on a globe thing, it makes a big arch.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause that's
we're
what-
definitely
that's-
not in that much of a curve.
No.
Pretty,
And that's what you
pretty
watch.
slight curve. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool.
it does look curved though, doesn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. Looks
Yeah.
curved,
Yeah.
but it's flat.
Like, The entire
Yeah.
Earth it looks round. I mean, I don't know,
Mm.
like it's
Mm.
looks like a ball.
Right.
Or it could be the dome. Maybe it's the dome kind of like,
The whole thing, I mean, not just our part.
Oh,
not
okay.
the entire
Yeah.
thing. I mean, it's still round. Like,
Yeah, this looks round, but it's not even the whole thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You couldn't fit it all on.
So,
Yeah, because this is not a 360 globe view. This is the top view, right?
yeah,
we
this
don't
is the
We don't
top.
live on the sides. We don't live on the sides of
Mm.
Yeah,
but-
so.
But yeah.
Here, I'll take. So if you look at what I got from my higher self, you would get this.
Yeah.
And we'd be under that dome.
Yep.
And then there's all that land, because that's only a quarter. I get that dome was only a quarter the size of the top of Earth.
so I wonder what the edges look like.
I feel like they just go kind of turn down a little bit, because there was I watched there was some kind of flat Earth experiment, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
guys were really disappointed that it showed that there was a curve. And when I tuned into it, it's because they were too close to a curved area. So they just psyched themselves out, basically. They were in the wrong spot. So there's
But it
the,
wouldn't be the
top of Earth.
thing. Wouldn't be the math wouldn't add up anyway. The curvature doesn't add up
Yeah.
to anything per se
No,
anyway.
it doesn't work. None of it works. So
Or
But that's what clues you onto it, because when you
well, and then,
understand that it doesn't work, it's like, well, there's the lie straight away. So it
yeah,
Yeah.
just takes you down that rabbit hole as soon as you understand the
Yep.
calculations. Even their calculations don't make sense
The
visually. when you
horizon,
do-
the big,
yeah.
the horizon's such a big tell.
Oh, it's massive. It's the biggest one.
yeah.
Just wouldn't be that high. Wouldn't be at eye level. You know, at the heights we're seeing it, just wouldn't be based on that, based on their mathematics. Yeah.
And
So
also
it's-
it's very like flat.
Yeah,
have to,
it would
Yeah.
curve. It would bend on the sides.
Yeah.
Did you? Sorry, Steph. You mentioned before about the continents. You said there was 7. Is that right? 7 we
Yeah.
know of. I can't
Yep.
remember. Yeah, and you said, honey, there's an 8th potentially. Would that be that? You know, in the center, the north section of all the maps, they have it all blanked out. Generally, you see a lot of maps like they talk
The
about
Hyperborea thing?
Hyperborea area, and that would maybe that's the 8th continent they've been hiding. I mean, it's basically, where is it? The center there
In the
that
middle,
map.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like, but all our maps that were shown just show ice and whatever.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
hidden.
all hidden
It's
away.
from
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
almost like it has its own dome, its own frequency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very magical
it's-
up there, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's magical. It feels so. There was a video about a secret land of giants. And it feels more like that's what that is.
Because
Yep.
you can't go up there anyway. It's like Antarctica. You're not allowed to go to the North Pole. What's the North
Yeah.
Pole?
Mm-mm. Yeah, and the
It's-
North Pole has land. and
Santa
some
Claus
have-
is
that's where Admiral Byrd flew. And,
Yeah.
and discovered the inner Earth stuff in his diary. Talks about that.
Right. And I don't get that it's actually cold either. It's surrounded by cold, but not cold itself.
Yeah. Well, he talked about that. It was ice and snow, but then they came to the tropical region, and they were literally, ushered in with craft, UFO
Yeah.
craft, and that's cool. It's a great diary if anyone wants to get it.
It is
not
a great
not
diary.
it's a short book. It's not a big read, so you could read it in a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's
just
like
a-
that thick.
Yeah. It's
So there's an inner Earth entrance there too, even though that's not the center of the Earth.
Yeah, and that would just be, it goes underground, but not deep. So the inner Earth entrance goes through the Earth, basically, like it really takes you inside. But we have Agartha, and then I believe that under Shasta, there's also Mount Shasta. There's places where you can meet people that are in the inner Earth, but they're not really that deep.
Right.
Yeah. Because a lot of the beings that live inside of Earth, they're pretty deep in there. Yeah,
But the reps and the greys live
They're
in
all
the inner
gone.
Earth.
they're
They
gone.
live in the inner Earth as well.
No, I think some of the reptilians are
caves
from
and
the
stuff.
inner Earth and caves and stuff, but not deep, not in the deep inner Earth either.
That story
No.
that Stephen told us, Scott and Rex.
Yep.
Yeah, Stephen's dad came face to face with a reptilian in a cave once.
oh,
Yeah. So the caves that are here that we can access, that's a little different. That's where they were, but they weren't deep in inner Earth with the other beings. Because I feel like they kind of cleaned up inner Earth a while ago. Yeah. So
what I get something came in about Scott's comment about how you gonna map, because I've always wondered this too. You can't even map a local lake in a rowboat.
Exactly.
Okay, you have to get above it, and we didn't have any technology, because I don't care what you
Oceans
say
got
out
this.
there, that we don't know what the world looks like from space. We don't. Forget it. NASA duped you. They're just down the road from me. Okay, they did. They no one knows what we look like. So how could you get high enough? Well, that's that technology before. Tartarian
Satellites.
and other and on the balloon stick that's going to deflate over Montana. Okay, maybe, but I don't think they can get high enough to map continents and things like that. You know, and someone says, "Oh, I fly," and you look out your fish globe window that's set up to make it look curved. Okay, so that debunk that, but the point I'm making is that there was higher. They with the ETs and such, they didn't even need to see what Earth looked like. You could see it every day on your routes around whatever. So they didn't care. It was more about mapping the Earth, and that's what came into me. Was like we don't care what the Earth. We can see it anytime we wanted to. It was about mapping the lands, and we can see that. So once they put the dome up, well, now we have to go. We've destroyed all that information on purpose. Keep us stupid, and now they're going to create this marble image in the 70s that we look like that. You know,
well, you look at all the structures too, the architecture. You know, the Vatican, all these places. You know, they're all when viewed from above is when you see
the stars,
how they've been created, why they've been created, how they've been. You know, this stuff's not evident at ground level.
right?
You know, so it's clear that these things are supposed to be viewed and were from above. You know, and it's that's a real big giveaway to history as far as
Yeah, just like I watched a little video on the 3D printed. I don't even know if it's true. I don't know if you can even do this. 3D print a rocket. Come on, what would anyway? But they did, and it burned up before it even got out of past the clouds. Great, that was a great, wonderful. So come on. I know that all these space shuttle things that they launch out with these things, they all end up in the ocean out there, Indian Ocean somewhere. They just kind of curve out and then they just splash down. So.
There's a reason why they curve. I think I asked my dad that. It's like, why did the thing curve like that? Oh, that's how he gets out. That's how they get out of the atmosphere. Like, well, it's not going to go anywhere, is it?
Like slingshot, do they into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do people believe it? Like, he's a scientist. He's a very smart person, but that's what they do. Right?
Yeah. You got a curve so you don't hit the dome, but then you've got these meteorites that come flying over you, but they're going horizontal. And you're kind of going, wow, hit the ground. Where are you going? Why are you going that way? And so it's like, I don't need the big scientist to come in and go, oh, it's a circular because you're going back to the globe again. And then that's not going to work for me. So,
Wouldn't it make sense that if you're on a ball, you just go straight up to get out of it instead of going this way?
Exactly.
And how would you see that from the ground? Is it disappears straight up, or is it going to go flying over you horizontal? Okay, there I say it.
Yep. That's a lot to unpack for everybody. So
yeah.
Is there I'm just putting it out there, have not to accuse the Vatican of anything bad, but do they do they hold a true map of the Earth in their archives?
I get they hold several. So they have the map for the whole top of Earth, and they have the map for the dome, and then they have the map for the inside of the ice wall. Like, they have it all.
They own the telescopes, all the major telescopes of the world. They own every one of them. No, your space centers don't own those. The Vatican owns them.
Police what comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact. So I've already been down that hole. I'll save you. So that's a fact. Yeah, give me those Vatican records for one day. Give me access. Punch my key.
Oh yeah,
in there.
That's where I'm going.
Through all that stuff in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
One-way ticket to the Vatican. Yeah. Can't wait
to see it. Can't wait. So, does anybody else have anything they want to add? I think that's a lot for people to think about.
It is. And you closed on the Vatican, so I have to say another sick pope, so we're out of popes.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Die before Easter, and then they're going to have a mass. Somebody just do mass, and then you got the cardinals all died from COVID. So we got to elect from what? I think the truth's got to come out soon.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot happening in a few days, isn't it? The Pope going to hospital and Trump's indictment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
All happening. Yeah.
Buckle up.
Buckle
A long
up.
time coming. Pope Francis has been sick for a while, hasn't he?
Oh.
He looks terrible.
Well, you're going to dust off some of that. Okay, they're going to bring him out of the Okay, never mind. Just
Lucky he got his vaccine. Now he can get into heaven.
oh God, don't get me
Rex is
started.
getting on a roll.
Yes.
Uh-oh, digressing.
No, new show, new show. Rex
Bye,
is a
everybody.
man.
Thank you.
Bye.
So yeah.